Good morning, everybody. This is James Hills. I'm the VP of Sales here at Print Audit. We are just going to wait for a moment or two here before we start this, and then we will take everybody through. Well, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. It is bang on noon here in sunny Calgary. Thoughts go out to everybody in Houston and hope that everybody's being helped and safe there. I know we have one person on, Greg Briscoe from Dove Print Solutions, who is soldiering through this and has been kind enough with his time to join us today, despite the catastrophe happening around him. So our thoughts go out to all of those people down there. Thank you again. We are going to give you a quick run through on an event that we are going to be holding in Philadelphia on the 13th of September. It's called the Seat-Based Billing Roadshow, and we're going to, it's the final one we're going to be doing, and this, there's no more booked after this. So we want to give you a few reasons of why we feel that you should attend this event. So here's the agenda on what we're going to be going through. We're going to have a look at, what's wrong with the CPB models, why do people like this, who should come, what's going to be covered, your cost. We're going to have a couple of testimonials from some dealers who are doing seat-based billing at the moment, and we're going to have a quick introduction from at least a number of the speakers, and then we'll throw it open to some questions at the end here. So what's wrong with this cost per page model? Well, the world's changing, right? If we look back just 10, 12, 11 years ago, I guess it is, to what was commonplace practice and the things that we were using in the intervening decade, I mean, things from a technology perspective have just changed dramatically, of course. And the one that I would point to is, the Netflix model here, especially, has been a very commonplace type of business model that's been put into place. Interestingly, I read an article just the other day from a company called MoviePass. I don't know if anybody's heard of this, but there's a movie theater chain called Studio Movie Grill, based out of Dallas. They've signed up for this MoviePass system. Essentially, what people do is they pay $10 a month, and they can watch a movie a day for the whole year. So 365 movies. So that's essentially like that Netflix model, right? Of course, they're looking at it from the perspective of getting people into their theater and spending their money on all their overpriced popcorn and stuff. But it shows the uptick on this has been over 400% on customer frequency. So these type of things are just finding their way into so many different industries, including ours. So what we're seeing out there is that each account that you have is slowly getting smaller, right? It's 2 to 3% volume reduction every year. Oh, I've been told that I'm still on the first slide. That wouldn't help. Sorry about that. It's like when a juggler drops a ball just to make things look more difficult. So do we, Angie, do we see the right slide now?
We do. Thank you, James.
There we go. Start big, finish big. Here we go. So yeah, as I say, there's a volume reduction going on in every account out there, and it's no longer a debate. The OEMs are talking about it, dealers are experiencing it, volumes are going down. Now, a dealership may still be growing, but that is not going to be through an increase in the amount of printing that each user is doing. It's through new customer acquisition or customers that are growing, or you've seen it all over, is these big dealerships buying up little ones. The other thing to keep in mind here is that cost per page margins are incredibly tight. Right? It's not uncommon to see deals being won at 0.005 now. Nobody's making any money, and it's a race to the bottom. So this puts us into a very difficult position in a business model that has those two problems. Where do we go? Well, it's seat-based billing, we feel, is an extremely viable alternative to the cost per page model for billing. So as we see here, I'm gonna bore you to death and just read this because I think it states it extremely well as a definition. Seat-based billing for managed print is a flat fee which is billed per end user per month and covers support for all print-enabled devices used by each end user. This may entail supporting locally connected devices, desktops, multifunctionals, scanners, fax machines, and all the related consumables, service parts, and software. So, who's doing this? Well, here's a number of the customers that we have worked with, and when I say we, this is very much a collaboration with a number of partners, which we will get into in a few minutes here. But you'll see some recognizable names on here. So this is being done out there in the marketplace. It's not a theory, it's happening. Why do people like it, right? So it's the dealers and the customers. Now, what you're seeing here is a snapshot, which is a part of an ROI calculator that we have built. Obviously, this is in isolation, but in this example, you can see that a customer can save money while the dealer actually increases their gross profit. So in this case, to just under 6.5% by dropping the customer spend by almost $6,000. Obviously, this is only a small part of the calculator, but at the roadshow, we will take you through it in detail. Now, also, this is only one scenario, of course. It can change dramatically based on the situation. What it addresses, though, is the fundamental conflict of interest that cost per page has, because that conflict of interest is that because you're paid on the number of pages that a customer is printing, if they print more, you make more money. Right? Despite whatever positioning you have and best intentions and customer first attitude, there is a fundamental conflict of interest. However, with seat-based billing, every time an end user clicks print, what they're doing is costing you money. So they want to see their costs go down and their volumes go down. So do you. So you work together in a very transparent fashion in order to make this happen and see these savings. And again, this is what the roadshow is going to be taking you through. Now, it also gives the advantage for the end user of 100% budgetable costs. The CFOs and the financial folks and your end user customers, they will love this, right? They know exactly how much. There's no longer this up and down, counting like crazy, trying to justify the expense and the volumes that are being done. With the potential cost reductions, what we're going to do is, of course, you're going to help them understand their print workflow and potentially cut their costs, which just adds to your value prop. Right? Now, any progressive dealer should be looking things on top of that to layer. This is an extremely important part of it, is layering on multiple services and offerings and then being able to present them with a unified bill. So what I mean by that is if you're charging, let's just say arbitrarily $25 per person per month for the printing, well, there are many other things that you can layer on top of that to get a larger share of the customer's wallet, such as perhaps it's telephony, perhaps it's other software or services that you can charge, or managed IT services is a very common one. So another $5 per month customer, and you'll get this. So very easy to start layering on. Guaranteed savings. Obviously, this is only if there are some, because seat-based billing is not going to be the answer in all situations, right? It's going to be where it is appropriate. But you will be able to guarantee the savings if they're there, because you're going to be able to put the control mechanisms and the support around that in order to make it happen. Now, because you're able to measure all of the improvements to the workflow that you're going to be putting in there, you're going to be able to measure the impact also from a sustainability perspective as well. Now, continuing on this line here, what we would suggest is that you try doing this with unprofitable customers. Right? Everybody's got those 5 or 6 customers out there that are just costing them money, or they're the way that they have been signed up is causing you difficulty. Well, if you're thinking about firing them anyway, why not go at it from a different perspective and say, look, what we're going to do is this, and show them seat-based billing. It's very low risk to you. The user management, it really is time to, everybody should be upping their game and using user-based information. Device level data really isn't enough. Amazon is an example of this, and the delivery, right, the logistics side of it. We used to be okay with a 2-week delivery, but now we're getting things overnight. And we're also getting suggestions on what else we would likely be interested in based on our buying habits. That is a real competitive advantage for them. Logistics haven't been exciting forever, right? Now they're turning ways into using your information to help provide you with more value. The level platform for future dealer growth. Seat-based billing you can have a single contract for multiple offerings, but you can't with cost per page. Right? We're talking about that layering again, right? Because cost per page is an isolated unit of measurement. It's the only thing in there that is being measured on that way. That makes it very easy to, have that race to the bottom, whereas that seat-based billing is not so conducive to that, because you're including so much in there. So what is the roadshow? Essentially, what it is a one-day event to arm you with everything you'll need to be able to offer a seat-based billing program from Managed Print. So you will learn everything that you need to from some of the brightest minds in the industry. All of these people and these companies have put a great deal of effort into building an ecosystem around seat-based billing so that you don't have to go through and step on all the landmines. All the hard thinking has been done on this. And if there are areas of it that you are unsure of, or have questions about, or see a landmine that perhaps we haven't, it's a very collaborative, open discussion forum for you to participate and get your answers and test the thinking. So far, it has been extremely well received in all of we've done a show in Vegas, and we've also done a show in Kansas City. Very well received in each one. So these are the topics that we're going to be covering at the roadshow. We're going to be doing some the assessment side of things from user-based contract considerations. There's financing contracts and back office, the compensation models, QBRs, wholesale options, converged services options, and really there is a lot more. Now, the one thing I would mention on this is that we've just changed the timing of this. It shows here that the program starts at 8 o'clock. We're actually moving that to 7:30 because we're going to hold it on the same day as the BTA event on the 13th of September, so that you don't have to take an extra day off. You can actually come to this. We'll be done in time for you to attend the BTA show. So who should attend? Well, this really is a program that should be considered from the top down, right? You don't want to be bringing your sales reps to this. It is far too strategic, and it's an initiative that will be implemented from a management perspective. However, if of course, if your company needs buy-in from the department heads, they're unquestionably a good target. Really depends on how you're structured, but keep it to the top level as you can. That's going to be decision makers in your business. But let's not take our word for it. Let's get a couple of moments of comments from two of those companies that you saw on the Who's Doing It Now. They were kind enough to join in and perhaps give their perspective on how they've been leveraging seat-based billing. So I'll ask Greg Briscoe from Dove Print Solutions to speak first, if I may. Greg, are you able to hear us and unmute? That's a no. Greg, are you there?
Okay, what about now?
There, now I can hear you.
And printers, we figured out microphones on webinars, maybe not so much.
You are breaking up a little bit, but go right ahead.
Okay, I'm in Houston, so the signal is definitely not necessarily where it typically is, but if everyone can hear me, seat-based billing for us is the about just analyze and be able to
I'm sorry, Greg. I'm afraid your service is it's not letting us hear you. Do apologize for that. Perhaps Mark, if we can jump to you. This is Mark Pilkington from Harris Technologies.
Yeah, I was told to prepare a minute, and now that Greg is unable to go, I'm going to take his minute and probably another one here. Hi, my name is Mark Pilkington. I'm the VP of Managed Services here with Harris. We've been a partner with Print Audit for a couple of years. I really don't recall now, 2-3 years plus. I don't recall. I don't remember what I wore yesterday, so don't ask me historical questions. But we do implement seat-based billing, and we actually prefer it, obviously, among any traditional billing mean or method, as it retains stickiness in the account. So just really briefly, I'll just kind of go over why. We have specifically a single large retail account here in North America that was a traditional CPI customer with an OEM manufacturer here. They paid a set amount a month, and if they didn't use their quota, then they lost it. So they knew they were going to be billed every month, and then of course overages on top of that. Well, we came to them and presented to them a new way of doing things with automated service, all the software for rules-based printing, and really implementing a print policy, showing them where they're spending money, how they're spending money, and how we can help them save money. And then, of course, once we had buy-in from the C-level down, we were able to show them what they've been spending historically, their historical print in factor. We showed them where we could bring them in a progression over the next 3 to 5 years. We showed them what they currently print, what print would be expected to hit next year, prior to implementation of a print policy, but definitely in the throes of optimization of their fleet, which was also in dire need. So by years towards the end of the second year and really into the third, fourth, and fifth year, we could show them how not only would prints be decreasing, but savings would be increasing. And we locked this into a seat-based billing method that included everything that you saw on the slide a moment ago, all supplies, all service, and all software that was included at a set amount of agreed pages per month per year. Those pages, of course, decreasing, we would then share with them the savings that we were driving. And of course, since we knew historical print, we knew what they were spending now. we were able to preserve margin in that account throughout the life of the account. So in spite of pages being forced down through print policy implementation, which we are now well into the third year of actively managing here, our margins are healthier than ever. And of course, if we were not employing a seat-based method here, we would be hurting as pages are going down. But so other than margin preservation, really the attitude of a partnership, a true partnership here with this retail company is in place, where they come to us to solve problems, and they know that we're there to save them money, and it really guarantees longevity between them and us. It's a great relationship. I wish I could say all of our engagements are the same way, but we take them where we can. And the seat-based billing approach in this account and others like it are keeping us relevant with them, and of course is a great story to tell with new prospects. So I hope that was direct enough yet generic enough.
Thank you very much, Mark. Greg, did you want to try one more time, see if the weather's picked up a little? I guess Greg is truly having some big difficulties down there. Like I said, our thoughts are with you guys down there. Okay, let's carry on from that, and I know Mark will be open to any questions that you guys have at the end here. We're going to throw that open, but before we do that, let's have there's a number of partners that I mentioned before that we've created this ecosystem around seat-based billing. A couple of them are on the call today with us. So from I'm going to give you the perspective just briefly from the print audit side of things. I mean, we have our mission statement here is, some people think it is sort of arrogant in its statement, but we stand behind it 100%, and that is to save the office equipment industry. Now, because we think that there are a number of things that are coming to pass that are affecting dealers now and into the future, and there needs to be, we need to put our money where our mouth is, and so we've come together with these partners to develop the seat-based billing model, and we've also bought a document management company called NeoStream, because documents are not. Documents are still being produced, and they're being produced in ever-increasing quantities. It's just that they're not being printed so much anymore, and it's because these document management systems are coming into play, wherein the virtual page is so much more accessible and manageable. So we want our premium members to be able to monetize documents even if they're never printed. And of course, selfishly, the more we can do to help our premium members improve their business in multiple ways, the more likely they're going to stay on our program and continue to pay us. So, it's not all altruistic, but certainly we are putting a lot of effort into figuring out how do we help our premium members into the future. We also have on the call with us today Luke Goldberg from Clover Imaging, and I'll have Luke, maybe you can give us a quick on Clover and why you're involved.
Sure. So first of all, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, depending on where you reside in the United States or Canada. I'm Luke Goldberg. I'm the Global Executive Vice President for Clover. And really, our participation in this is multi-layered. But I think one of the reasons that we wanted to participate is because, we looked at an aging, antiquated, commoditized model that's been in existence for the better part of 30 years, and dealers were struggling to figure out ways to add value, billing per click or per page. And, it's interesting because from a Clover standpoint, the currency that we trade in is toner and parts. And when you do a really good job with seat-based billing, you're actually going to somewhat lessen the amount of toner that's required, but our dealers are going to be more sustainable and more profitable. So I'd rather have a successful dealer that buys a little bit less toner than an unsuccessful dealer that's continuing to offer a model where they're under pressure from pricing and it's just circling the drain. So our participation is something that we partner with Print Audit on. Is we're offering a full-blown turnkey cost per seat wholesale. So basically, you know, one of the issues that dealers had with this model is, well, there's a lot of risk. We don't know that people are going to print more. It's new. We don't understand it. So we wanted to take on that risk and not just mitigate it, but completely eliminate it by offering a full-blown solution to dealers where they don't have to worry about overages. They don't have to worry about, you know, assessments. We do everything. It includes toner, parts, break fix, and it's a good way for dealers to dip their toe in this with selected accounts without having the risk of entering a completely new model. You know, and as far as the roadshow is concerned, you know, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about our wholesale solution. We're also going to be talking about assessments, you know, how they differ from traditional cost per page assessments, which is mainly because you're really delving into not just what devices are printing and how much is being printed, but, you know, the user metrics as well. And then we're also going to talk about print policies and how they would differ from traditional print policies for users as well as devices.
Oh, is it? Can everybody hear me? I don't know which way my. Can you hear me, Angie?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, Luke. Now, in looking at the attendees here, it would seem that the people from the other companies have not been able to make it on. I know somebody had to drop off being in an airport, but let me give you just a brief overview of their involvement. Supplies Network has been very much involved right from the start of this. They're putting a lot of effort and work into making the whole auto toner fulfillment side of things more of a science than a hope. So I know that's what they're going to be talking about. Great America has done an enormous amount of work to come to the table with the world's first financial leasing contract for seat-based billing. It's extremely comprehensive, and the folks over there will do a fantastic job of going through that and answering all what has been so far an awful lot of questions around there. It's certainly an in-depth look at the financing side of things. And also we have Doc Assess. That's with Mike Lamotte. And Mike goes into a great deal of detail with some extremely valuable content around the QBR process. So I know all of these companies will be extremely pleased to see all of you there, and we'll answer any of your questions. Now, speaking of which, we are going to be held at the Philadelphia Marriott downtown. It's on the 13th. We're going to be starting at 7:30 in the morning, and it is the day before, sorry, excuse me, it's on the same day as the BTA event. I believe the BTA event starts at 3-ish, and so we're aiming to be done in time so that you will be able to get to that event and not miss anything there, but also not have to take an extra day out of your schedule by holding it the day before, or holding it the same day. Now, the event is going to cost $250. The BTA event is $249. I was going to undercut them by $5, but I thought, hey, why not? Keep it where it is. But you can, of course, save by going to both events, because there is a promo code that you can use wherein you will get 50% off the BTA event if you attend the Seat-Based Billing Roadshow. We also have a special offer, which is to say, say, well, if you buy one, you get one. So if you register 2 executives from your company for the show, you only have to pay for the one. So it's a way for you to spread the learning out and get a lot of buy-in from your, well, buy-in or red flag raising, whichever it is, we want to hear from you. You can register by going to the sbbroadshow.com. So as you see, there's the link there. There is a big old red blue button in there. It says register now. That will take you to the BTA's site, and you will go through their registration process because this is a BTA sanctioned event. And finally here, that's my contact information. If you have any questions of me, you can certainly contact me, or we can also put you in touch with any of the partners in this ecosystem. And now we can throw it open to questions if anybody has any.
Sure, James. Good morning, everyone. This is Angela from Print Audit. We have a few questions. The first one is, can I bring my sales reps if I would like to?
Well, you could, I suppose, but I'm not sure if there's really that much value in them attending, simply because it is really very much a business model discussion rather than a, okay, how do you, what from a tactical perspective do you are you going to say, and positioning with customers and things like that. I think it's probably a step too soon to involve your sales reps, unless those are people in your organization that you're looking to for help with, where should you be focusing your attention, and if you need their buy-in, certainly, but in most organizations I would say that isn't the case.
Okay, thank you, James. The next question is, how can I learn more about SBB before coming to the event?
Certainly, there's a few ways here. There is a blog or an ebook that we've written. It's called The Essential Guide to Seat-Based Billing, and that will essentially take you through the whole concept, soup to nuts. There's also a great deal of information at the SBBroadshow.com. There's links to additional information there. And there's one other place that you can go to, which is sbbcertified.com. That is the certification that your company would receive if they attended the Seat-Based Billing Roadshow. You provide your feedback on the course at the end, and then you will be issued a certificate saying that your company is now SBB certified.
Thank you, James. I have a couple of questions here actually for the SBB dealers on the call, so Mark or Greg. So the first question I'll open up to Greg, if we have you there. Can I just confirm? I guess not. Oh.
Poor Greg.
So Mark, if you would like to answer this question, please. It is, could one of the current SBB dealers tell me what they have found challenging?
Introducing a completely new mindset to the customer would be the biggest challenge we found with introducing SBB. Even in situations where just last week I sat across a conference room from a customer where they were being charged per seat license for Print Audit 6 from a different dealer, and they were not happy with the services they received. They had a bad taste in their mouth from their current offering, even a bad taste in their mouth for Print Audit. And I said, listen, you guys aren't using the system correctly here. Whoever's selling this into this account doesn't know what they're doing. This is how we would like to do it. We could introduce it this way and really show you the value. And having them learn something new outside of your standard CPI, that was the most challenging part of that meeting and that ongoing discussion, and as well as plenty of other customers that we've spoken to in the past, and probably will be for a while until seat-based billing takes a bit more of a root out in the industry.
Great, thank you, Mark. I have a few more questions for you. Could you please give an example of a win because of you using SBB?
Repeat that one more time. I don't believe I understood that one.
Could you give an example of a win, like a deal that you've won because of SBB?
Yeah, well, the story that I really started with was that, and it was our very first seat-based billing win, where we could show over the course of future 2 to 5 years a decrease in print, an increase in savings as a result of print policy implementation and optimization, and of course where we could save $20, $30, $40,000 a year in print and have that be a shared savings back to the customer that is shared with us as well. That story that I first started with was it's a great example of an incredible win with a seat-based billing approach. And it looks like Greg might be back on.
Greg, are you there?
I'm trying, hopefully.
Perfect, we got you. I have a question for you. Perfect timing.
Fantastic.
They would like to know, how often do you lead with SBB?
I lead with SBB definitely more times than not, and the reason being, just kind of piggybacking on a lot of things that have already been said, like it's a matter of actually bringing your goals in alignment with the end user goals / client goals. So, we always say we want you to print less, we want you to adopt some of these technologies, but at the end of the day, we really don't give, in a traditional model, traditional cost per page or cost per click model, we really don't give you the ability to do that. With SBB, we absolutely do it. We absolutely show you how to do it. We absolutely, we benefit. We benefit. The customer benefits. Everything is brought into alignment. So with the SBB model, not only does it give you the ability to actually acquire the customer, but it gives you the ability to layer some of the additional services, the additional softwares, the additional products, whatever, call it X, that you couldn't typically do before. So how often do I lead with it? I always lead with it. Does it always go down that road? Of course not. But are most people receptive to it once we've introduced and educated them about it? Absolutely.
Could I ask a follow-up question on that? Are you finding it is in smaller accounts where this is working, or larger?
All of the above. I mean, the larger the account, the larger the impact. But definitely, even in the the SMB space, it makes sense. And just where the industry is going and where each and every one of our businesses are going, we're looking to have that impact. We're looking to add to that value proposition, and that's what SBB opens the door to that. Without that, it's a matter of, okay, well, I want to go down vertical X, I want to provide service Y, but how do I really get there? And it's great to talk about it, but SBB actually gives you that entrance. It gives you the ability to to have those conversations, and to really not even just have the conversations, but make it come to fruition. And unfortunately / unfortunately, that's always been difficult. So it just opens those doors. But regardless of the size of the account, once again, the larger the account, the larger the impact, and it gives you the ability to approach accounts that you probably wouldn't have approached before, because the larger organizations or the OEMs or whomever would have been the one who had that opportunity. But it just opens a whole new playing field. I mean, you have the ability to do things that you never could before with SBB.
Great, thank you, Greg. There's another question, and Greg, I'll get you to answer this one. It's, how long did it take you to go to market with SBB? There definitely is a little bit of a learning curve, and really it's not as significant as what you think. I mean, the bulk of SBB, the premise of it, the foundation of it is the exact same thing as the traditional model. I mean, there are some different nuances, but I think within a 30 to 60 day time frame, maybe 90 tops, once you go through, if you're going through the mentorship, the Print Audit mentorship program, it's very seamless. So most of what you need to know, you already know. Most of what you need to learn, you've already learned. There's just some different nuances and retraining and rethinking exactly how to go to market. But once again, between 30 to 90 days tops, I think that you could be the quote-unquote expert. Perfect. Thank you, Greg. James, that's all the questions that we have for today.
Excellent. Well, thank you all so very much for attending and hearing why you should come. We would love to meet you all. So sign up, and if there's any other questions that you have, that you can always contact me, and I will be the quarterback if we need to bring in some of our partners to answer various questions. Thank you all again, and have a fantastic day.